What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Wednesday night edition of Evil and Intoxicated, the Ultimate Fighter 25 Episode 4 recap and some quick MMA news. Thanks for joining us. We got the infamous Ted Check with us here, like always.
Hey, Eddie, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. What a crazy week it's been for the weather here. But let's jump right into the Ultimate Fighter Season 25 talk right now.
Yeah.
TJ Dillashaw coming into this, Ted, was on a 3-fight winning streak, and you can kind of tell with Cody's mood. He came in all excited when he first started out, and you can tell even when tonight's guy lost on his team. He was just kind of like, yep.
Yeah, I mean, and now they're 4-0, and we'll give the spoiler right away. I mean, Team Dillasnake is 4-0, and I mean, yeah, that's got to go up Cody sideways because he just hates losing to TJ in any way, shape, matter, or form. It doesn't matter if it's a team thing, or I mean, I guess at some point they're gonna have the coaches challenge, and then later on they'll be in the cage. So that's Cody though,
Yep. I just thought that was a cool aspect because we talked about last week, Ted. This is gonna play a role into how the fight goes.
Well, it could. It could because I mean, Cody is such an emotional guy. I mean, he looks at TJ like a traitor. That he betrayed Team Alpha Male, and Cody is so loyal to Team Alpha Male. That and he figures, hey, I'm the guy that's gonna take him out and teach him a lesson. And so yeah, it's all emotion for Cody. You're absolutely right. And Jeff Stinson is checking in. Our friend Jeff, his comment is Stipe.
And guys, we are going to get into UFC 211. I know that's one of the biggest fight cards of the year. You're all wanting to hear what me and Ted have to say about it. We're going to be getting into that right after we talk about Ultimate Fighter Season 25. So going into this, Ted, I saw a lot of things on tonight's episode that I was kind of crying about last week that I was earning for. More of the house, saw a little bit of alcohol.
Yep, you saw that. Misha Tate
making a Clay Guida popping in.
Guida was there, and Cody's fiance. Lunchbox. She goes by by the name Lunchbox. I mean, when I hear that, it doesn't exactly get me excited, but I mean, because she's a good-looking girl, but she goes by Lunchbox.
Well, have you ever seen the movie The Little Giants, Ted?
The Little Giants.
The Little Giants.
I can't say that I have.
Al Bundy's in it. He's the evil brother. But the girl, she's on the football team, and she's cute, but she's kind of boyish, and they nickname her Lunchbox.
Oh, okay. So that's probably where it's from, huh?
I believe. Maybe my memory's a little fuzzy. But yeah, I believe that's where it's from. So Ted, tonight's fighters, we had James Krause, which is a familiar face, and he was saying that he's felt robbed, that he was coming into the season. He lost on season 15, I believe it was on, and then he took a fight on short notice in the UFC. He was doing good, and you were even telling us he's one of the only fighters on the season that's actually in contract with the UFC.
He's the only one. He's the only one, and he has a. They had some other guys that they were considering, or that might have been fighting to get into the house. But, by the time all the dust settled, it was just James Krause. He's the one guy, and he's on a 2-fight win streak. But they did show footage, as you were saying. They showed footage from the Ultimate Fighter when he was on it. And, yeah, there was some illegal knees there by Justin Lawrence. So, yeah, he kind of got dealt a raw deal. Pat's in the house.
Pat's back.
Stop. Pat's back. Love Stop checking in. So we got the crew. The crew is assembling.
So you know what, Ted? It went right into TJ's birthday party that they're having, and they made a pretty cool card. What was it? The worst card of all time, the best card of all time, or what did I say? I said it was the most epic birthday card of all time.
I thought it was hilarious. I mean, they didn't use their pubes or anything like that. So
well, we don't know.
It was just their yeah. If they did, they didn't show it. But no, they showed Tom Galicchio, who is the hairiest man on earth. They shaved part of his arm, and they used everybody except for James Krause. James Krause is a peculiar individual. Like he's a very picky. I don't know how to say it exactly. Maybe you got the term, but like he's very. I don't know if I want to say anal retentive, but like what I mean, like he doesn't do body hair. He didn't get in the hot tub with the other dudes. If you notice,
kind of Germaphobe.
He's kind of a germaphobe guy. Yeah. He's kind of like a Howard Hughes. You know, he probably puts gloves on in order to touch the doorknob.
Hughes, how are you?
You know what I mean? Like, did you notice that he didn't get into the hot tub with the guys? He gets a pedicure before every fight. You know what I mean? So he's a very very picky, particular kind of guy. Oh, and Brian Blaze checking in.
What's going on, Brian Blaze? Love that name. But you know what? You know what, Ted? I actually was live tweeting, and I tweeted you as soon as that came out. I was like, maybe they'll get rid of some of a little more of Tom's hair. That dude's he's got shoulder hair. He looks like Wolfman.
Oh my God, he's an animal. Yeah. He's an animal. You animal. Yeah. So so they glued that onto a bear, and they said it would, being on somebody else's team would be unbearable. Hey, Ann's checking in.
Hey, Ann, checking in. Ann was actually live tweeting with us tonight at ChillZone95 on Twitter, and that actually reminds me, guys, if you guys want to let us know what you thought of tonight's episode, let us know at Pure Evil MMA and also at Ted Check. That's TEDCZECH. I actually got some shirts for sale. We got a bunch to talk about, and I'll talk about it in a little bit here. But, Ann, thanks for checking in, guys. Thanks for checking in here. I want to know, when we finish talking about this, what you guys will rate this. So think about that as me and Ted kind of go back here. So, Ted, they were going a little bit in the training, which is something I also brought up last week. I wanted to see a little more of how TJ is dealing with his team and how Cody deals with his. TJ's been very impressive, and he was even telling Krause, he was like, I really want you to stay at range, be southpaw. And then you saw Cody tell his boy over there, Johnny Nunez, that he wanted to be a dirty kind of a fight, and that kind of played back to how he lost. He was just kind of gassed there when he got hit with that. He was dropped, and we're going to talk about that in a second.
Right. Yep. So definitely two totally different game plans, but each playing to their strengths. I mean, Nunez, a shorter, more muscular dude with a wrestling background. Yeah, he wanted to make it ugly and make it fast paced to try to gas Krause out, because Krause is used to hanging back and kind of chilling and kind of setting the pace nice and slow and methodical, and so Nunez is like, oh, he's not going to be able to handle it. He can't handle my rhythm, as GSP would say. So but as we'll talk about, it didn't quite work out that way.
And there's something that TJ even brought up about cardio when he was talking with him. So I really enjoyed seeing that, but I want to see a little more of that. They only spent like a couple of minutes on that. So then everybody was waiting for, they were watching the fight nights, like we said. Faber was there, Misha was there. And then Julian started making drinks, and I thought something crazy was about to happen. And then it just kind of moved along. I was like, whoa.
It got cringy because Cody, who apparently is a lightweight, well, he's not a lightweight, he's a bantamweight, but as far as drinking, is I couldn't help myself. As far as drinking is a lightweight, because he kept going, hanging with the boys. And
I do that all the time you should see me when I go out, bro, on fight night.
Oh my God, over and over again he kept saying that, and Lunchbox was like, you're gonna look like a total douche. And she was right. She speaks the truth, man. She's real. And she's like, you're gonna look like a total douche. And he did. Hanging with the boys. Dude.
I'm gonna relate with Cody there. He was just trying to have some fun. But you know how they film, they kind of make you kind of look like an idiot all the time. That's what they're always looking for. But I thought there was going to be a little something more that happened when Julian started making those drinks, Ted. I was really waiting for it. I thought it was our moment there.
It almost was. But, something's got to okay, here's what's got to happen. And I don't want to wish this on Julian, but if he loses, he will go nuts. He'll be like, look, I lost, I don't care, and he'll just start drinking. That's my prediction.
I really hope that they get into a little backyard brawl or something like that to kind of spice things up. And it's coming because, like you were saying, with the egos and whatnot. But you know what? Getting back into Johnny Nunez, Ted, this was the second time he was brought back on a Season Ultimate Fighter. On Season 22, unusual. He lost. And then was brought back to fight David Timur, who's actually on a pretty hot streak right now in the UFC, making a pretty big name for himself.
Looked great against Lando Venata, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was his last opponent there. So, No Love lost there, but he gets his redemption shot. He gets the redemption shot.
Right,
and tonight, you could tell he really wanted it, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But I felt like he was very anxious. He wasn't really talking with anybody. He even said it himself how anxious he was feeling, and it's got to feel sour at the end of the day.
Yeah, he said that to Misha. And yeah, I mean, the guy, I forget what his record was exactly, but I mean, he may have had 10 fights, right? I mean, it was something like 8-2 or
yes.
Low. I mean, not very many fights. And then you look at Krause. What was he, like 23-7 or something?
Yeah, he's got a pretty wild record.
I mean, yeah, Krause had probably a good 2 to 3 times as many fights as Nunez, and so maybe that had something. Maybe that was part of it. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. Johnny did seem a bit anxious, and yeah, I think the nerves got the better of him.
They even brought Misha in to kind of help him calm down a little bit. And Misha also used to train at Team Alpha Male for a little while, but what gym does she train with Johnny at? What gym was that? Team Quest, training with Team Quest. So they brought her in to help him, and then they kind of switched to the hater Hassan Diego talking, which was a little foreshadowing.
Right, yeah, because those two guys are pretty tight. I guess they both train at ATT, at American Top Team, and then you had Cody and the other guys from Team Alpha Male kind of applying a little bit of pressure, let's say, by saying, hey, whose journey is this? That was Cody. Whose journey is this? Is it his journey or your journey?
Yeah.
Because Hader was like, well, look, I'll fight him, but I'll fight him in the second round. I don't want to fight him in this first round.
It's through the redemption season, and you know what? I love that both of these guys were on this season Ultimate Fighter. They both came on my show a couple months ago before we even knew that they were going to be on, and both guys. I mean, Diego over at Titan FC, he was on a pretty hot streak over there, making a pretty big name for himself. But he's actually the youngest guy on this season, Ted, at only 28 years old.
Yeah, and that struck me as weird too, because, well, in a sense, like at first when I heard that 28, and I'm like, okay, because 28 is not young. I mean, fighters get into it when they're 20, 21, 22, something like that. But then again, this is the redemption season, so everybody is older. So 28 is actually young for this crew.
I got to ask you this question, Ted. What age do you think a fighter's in his prime? And I know it kind of varies fighter to fighter, but what age do you think?
Well, what I've read, and I don't know if there's any science behind this or if this is just kind of popular opinion, it's somewhere around age 30, because it could be anywhere. You could take 28, 29, 31, 32, and it could be anywhere within there, because that's kind of like if you take experience and then you take skill, and that's when the two meet. You know what I mean? Like you're going along and you're fighting and you're fighting and you're fighting and you're training and you're training and you're training. So all of that, your expertise and your experience meet at this peak, and that's when you're in your prime. So and for some people it might only last a couple of years.
That is the average, usually about 28 to 32. So I think you nailed that one on the dot. I'd say about.
Thank you, man.
About 30, but it does range fighter to fighter. Like Jose Aldo, he's only 29 now, and he looks about 40. You know what I mean? So.
He does. He is old, man. I'm very old. Anderson Silva. I'm old. I'm very old.
So then, of course, right after that, Ted, they jumped right back into the stories of James, and he was kind of opening up about his parents having cancer, how he had to take in his little sister, and he also has an 11-month-old. And you can tell how much more mature he is this season than he was, from past.
Yeah, I mean, that'll do. The kids will do that to you, for sure.
He owns two gyms now.
Yeah, and that kind of played into, like, Nunez was saying, oh, well, he doesn't really want to be here. He doesn't want it as bad as I do. I think what he was alluding to was, like you said, that Krause has these gyms, so he doesn't need it like other fighters need it or want it. And, the guy's doing well, but that just because you own a couple of gyms, those gyms, you got to make sure that they're viable, right? Yeah. I mean, we don't know how much he's making off of those.
No, but there are a couple pretty big names over there that will definitely help with the ongoing of it. So it's definitely a good start for a fighter, especially when we talk about what fighters supposed to do after their career's over. It's on, but you're right, you do got to take care of that. But people like Zach Cummins, he was saying, Tim Elliott as well are training there. And another thing, Ted, then it kind of moved on to the weight cut, and both guys came in right on point, 170.
Right. There wasn't much in the way of challenges or drama or anything like that. I mean, Nunes, a wrestler, and then Krause has been around for so long. They didn't seem to be any problems there at all.
So Ted, leading up to this point, before the fight, if you were a new viewer of the show, would you have changed the channel by this point?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think there was a little bit of everything there. We had training, we had the footage of them drinking or whatever. So it showed them relaxing. We had some the kind of that where they're convincing the other guy, Hader Hassan, to fight.
Foreshadowing.
So a little bit of the strategy or the plotting. I think there was a little bit of everything there. So I thought it was good.
I think it was the perfect combination, the perfect recipe for a great episode if you're a new viewer of the sport to kind of, follow along. It definitely was a high rating, and we're going to talk about that in a second. I want to know what everyone's rating was for this in the chat room. Ted, what's going on in the chat room, by the way?
Okay, let's see here. Pat says he's in his prime right now. He just wants to let everybody know. He wants to let everybody know he's in his prime right now.
That's great.
And let's see, what else here? Orlando Castro, he is on his way to Vegas.
Nice,
so
bro.
It's just unfortunate that the UFC is not in Vegas, but I've never been to Vegas. Eddie, you've never been to Vegas, right?
I've never been to Vegas.
And I got to get there. I got to get there, and I got to get there when there's a UFC, and I'm going to combine the whole thing. You know what I mean?
People like Jody do that. They fly out, take like one day in a year to pick out to do something crazy like that. You should totally do that, Ted.
Yeah. And Orlando and Ann want to see my evil face. I mean, are they talking about Ronda? I'm angry. I'm Ronda Rousey. I'm angry. And then they wanted to hear about, they want to hear that. So there we go. I did it.
We can just get the sound clips for that. So going into this, Ted, who are you favoring, Nunes or James Krause?
Oh, Krause. Yeah, Krause for sure. I mean, just based on his experience, that he's under contract with the UFC, so he's already fighting at that level. Yeah. And just I don't know about Nunes, but I mean, has the guy been very active? I don't know. It seemed like this kind of plucked him out of nowhere. I mean, has he been fighting at all, like on the regional circuit, or what?
It's funny because remember when this fight got called off with Hector Urbina, TJ wanted to originally change the opponent. He didn't think it was fair. I like this matchup for James Krause. I was a big fan of Johnny Nunes on season 22 of The Ultimate Fighter. He didn't get too far, unfortunately. Fought some pretty tough guys. And coming back this season to fight somebody like James Krause, like a veteran, like you're saying, man, it's a tough matchup. I think he had a great game plan. He was going in there. He was landing some really nice. He had a lot of pressure. He was landing a lot of right hooks, like over and over.
Yeah, no, he was kind of lighting Krause up on the feet. I mean, I think he knocked him down at one point.
Yeah, he got a takedown. Yeah, and he knocked him down.
Knocked him down. Got
a takedown. Really nice right hook, like I was saying. And he dropped Krause with the right hook, a matter of fact. But the one thing I liked about Krause, he was landing a lot of really nice kicks, landing knees that could have dropped anybody. Like a couple of times, I thought that Nunes was going to go down, especially with the big knee to the chin as we got to the last minute of the first round. James landed one really nice uppercut, and then drops Nunes at one point, and then finishes him off with the submission. I was just like, wow. Just burnt Nunes
Tommy
out.
Bones is checking in. Tommy Bones checking in.
Tommy Bones. Yeah, but Nunes, I felt just really worn himself out.
So you thought he gassed out, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he after the fight, he was talking with Misha Tate, and he said he got hit in the liver. Now, that'll do it to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know which strike that was, because like you were saying, Krause was kicking him a lot. So it was probably one of those because the knee from Krause knocked him down. So I think the knee was to the chin, wasn't it? Or maybe it was to the upper chest, to the solar plexus, or to the, is that the chest or the chin?
He landed a couple of those to the chin that could have dropped him, but it was that one that did.
Yeah, that last knee that he did that flattened him out, so that he could follow him, so he could follow him to the ground. Yeah, that looked like it was probably to the chin. Then he took his back and sunk in the RNC.
Only 18 seconds left too.
Right, it was late in the first round. Yeah, and I'm looking at my watch and I'm going, I don't think there's time for a second round. I think this sucker's about to end.
I wasn't even paying attention to that.
Like if they start the fight and it's like, 20 of 11, then I'm like, oh well, they're probably gonna go all 3 rounds. You know what I mean? I do that.
Hey guys, I got some really quick breaking news coming in from the UFC. Right when the Ultimate Fighter ended, it was announced that Joseph Benavidez was going to be out of his fight against Ben Nguyen at UFC Fight Night in New Zealand. Well, now, minutes later, we got Tim Elliott from season 24 of the Ultimate Fighter, former Titan.
The Dirty Bird.
Tim Elliott.
The Dirty Bird.
He's going to be facing Ben Nguyen at UFC Fight Night in New Zealand.
All
so
right.
Stepping up.
There you go. That's a teammate of James Krause, right?
Exactly. It fits right in here.
Cool. Oh, Tommy's asking Johnny. John. Maybe he didn't see the show. I'll fill him in.
All right, so Johnny Nunes, like I said, he came out with a lot of pressure. I really thought that he was tiring himself out, but you make a good point. Those liver shots will definitely do some damage. But he just came out too strong, in my opinion. There were points where he could have just settled down. He was finding a lot of success. I think he got a little more anticipated on trying to finish him at one point. But overall, a really good performance on Nunes' part, but not a smart one. I don't think it was a smart game plan for him to brawl the way he did.
That was his game plan. He wanted to make it dirty, make it ugly. It's just that Krause, I think, was stayed long and then stayed long with the kicks, but then when the time was right, bang with the knee, so I think Krause was too much for him skill wise.
It was only one round, Ted. But as we got halfway through it, who do you think was winning at that point?
Well,
it's not really a fair thing to say.
I thought Nunes was winning first.
Yeah.
I thought he was landing more. He was landing the power shots,
the takedown.
So I thought he was winning. He was winning until he was losing, until he lost. Oh, Tommy Tommy Bones. Oh, Amanda Nunes' brother. Sure, yeah.
There's Nunes and then there's Nunez, but they're spelled the same way.
Well, wait, are they, or does she have the S on the end?
Oh, you're right. I think Nunes has the Z.
And he's got. I took a little bit of Spanish. He's got the Nye over the N-U-N with the Nye, which means Nunez. It's actually Nunez, and she's Nunes. Nunes.
Well, there we go. Cleared that one up there.
Yeah.
But you know what, Ted? Like I said, going into this fight, it just seemed like Johnny Nunes was really anxious and his head was just in a weird spot. It's not really fair to say either, to say that, because I wasn't in his head. I was only seeing what they were showing me. But going into that fight, I think that James was more mentally there. And some people might disagree. Some people might disagree.
I agree with you. I mean, yeah, like we said, Nunes was it seemed like he was kind of wallowing in self-doubt, and that's unfortunate.
Well,
but,
even Dana White said this is really it to see if he can fight in the UFC at this point.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be something that they brought him back again?
If they brought him back again for the
third time. They brought him back again later, just like give him like 3 weeks and he'll be back.
Yeah, probably. Someone's gonna get injured and they're gonna have him there.
Yep. And who do we have behind this curtain? Johnny Nunes.
He's just that guy, I guess. He's just that guy now.
He just keeps popping up. But yeah, so then they had the just to move it along, they had the fight announcement. Now, let me ask you this, because maybe I missed something here. Why does the losing team get to make the fight? I thought the winning team always makes the fight.
So they changed it up this season, right? Usually, whoever won was going to be picking the fights. And what did we see when that was happening? We were seeing a lot of unfair fights, a lot of really technical. I like it better this way, honestly.
Okay. All right. So Cody announces the fight. After that the strategizing that went on, he announces Diego Lima, which is his guy, versus Hader Hassan. And the weird thing, everybody talks about Julian Lane and his let me bang, bro, and all that.
Yep.
Well, now we've got Hader Hassan saying, "I love you, bro. I love you, bro. You're my boy for life. You're my boy for life." And he gave him a kiss and everything. He just, they're squaring off, and he just kept talking. And he just kept doing it. Diego's like, "Look, we're gonna fight, dude. It's a fight. It's nothing personal. We're gonna fight. Yes, I'm your boy, but And Hassan's like, I love you, man. I love you.
It's a weird thing for a lot of people to fight somebody that they know like that. I think that's one of the reasons why Faber retired in a way.
I know. I make fun of it. I kid, but look, I'm sure it's very difficult.
No, I love that. I love you, bro.
I love you. But Tommy's asking, did we see the Fertitta commercial, Chilling on a Plane? I missed that one because I guess, is it for the that $500 million investment firm that they just started, or what? Did you see it, Eddie?
True. I do know that they did start an investment firm, but I did not see that commercial.
Oh, okay. So Tommy says he's got it on DVR.
So imagine if in that fight, Diego's on bottom, and we see what we saw in the first episode when the guy's finishing a guy. Free will, dedication, spirit, but instead he's like, I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
Bro, I love you.
As he's banging on him like a drum.
Just bouncing off the canvas. I love you, bro.
A basketball.
No, that's more like celebrity death match right there.
Yeah, Ann says, I thought he was going to give him the tongue.
Oh, God.
Flip him the tongue.
You know what? Hader Hassan was a big fan favorite on that season of Ultimate Fighter. Youssef, our boy Youssef, big fan of Hader Hassan. Who are you favoring, though, here, Ted? Diego or Hader?
Youssef does not like me.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that whole situation, but that's not part of this show here. But who are you favoring, Diego or Hader?
What's that?
Diego or Hader are you feeling on this one?
You know what? I gotta say, I remember Diego. I don't know anything about Hader Hassan. I'd have to do a little bit of research, and in order to form an educated opinion on this. So I'm gonna have to defer to you, Eddie. What do you think?
It's hard because a lot of people freak out on me when I pick somebody that I interviewed, but in this case, I interviewed both the guys. So it's
so there you go. So either way.
Man, it's going to be a good fight. I feel like Hader might win, but also at the same time, Diego might win. You know what I mean? It's
Here's the crazy thing: they know each other. They know each other because they've trained together, right?
Yeah.
So
man,
that's it. They both got the intel on each other. They know each other's tricks. Should be interesting.
I am kind of favoring Hader, but I do want to see Diego win as well. I didn't want this fight, Ted. I did not want this to happen.
Eddie, don't be a hater. Pick Hader. Boom. Sorry, I'm coming out with the cheesy jokes tonight. I don't know why.
But you know what, Diego, he's making that run over there at Titan FC. He did recently just lose for the title. I think that was his last fight over at Titan FC. It would be something to see Diego come back and make a comeback here, but I do believe Hader Hassan is going to get the finish. He was a huge favorite on that season of Ultimate Fighter, and I think he still got it, man.
And then what happened? He was a favorite, and then what?
I don't know. He I believe he's fighting for Titan FC as well, but I can't tell you his last 3 fights. But
hey, Tommy Bones says, see, you gotta help me out with this. He says, who's that Canadian fool that tried beating 80 Bill on You Fighter?
I don't know.
I'm Tommy, you lost me, buddy.
Tom, I do not know.
Who's that Canadian fool that tried beating 80 Bill on You Fighter? I'd love to help you out, man.
Maybe he's talking about the MTV show with CM Punk. That CM Punk's on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Oh God, what is the name of that?
Not the challenge. It's a pros versus.
No, that's what it is.
Pros versus athletes or something. Actors versus athletes. It's something like that. Is that what he's talking about here? Is that what you're talking about, Bill?
He said $80, beating $80 on U Fighter.
I have no idea, man.
Man.
No idea. I do remember when people would get offered $100 to take a punch from Kimbo, though.
Oh yeah. Oh, one guy even said, "Hey Kimbo, can you put on your football gear and tackle me?"
Yeah. Yep.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Because Kimbo used to play. I guess he played linebacker in college.
And a matter of fact, his son was just announced for Bellator, Ted. So as we end this Ultimate Fighter Season 25, Episode 4 recap, I am wondering what you guys rate this episode. Me and Ted were kind of reminiscing about this. And if you are listening to the podcast, make sure you let us know at Pure Evil MMA and also at Ted Check. Ted, I'm going to start with you. Out of 5 stars, what do you give it?
5 stars? I mean, 4.5.
4.5.
Give it a 4.5.
I think you're right on the money there. I think I give it a 4. I think they had the great combination, but I feel like a little more could have happened in the house. I wanted to see a little more of what happened with the drinking. Like you said, Cody was like, "My boys, I'm chilling with the boys.
Chilling with the boys."
You know, I think a little more could have happened on a couple of occasions here, especially, you know, with a bunch of these guys with the egos that they had, like you brought up last week. Something is bound to happen.
How come nobody tried to pick up Misha? That's one thing. Nobody tried to pick her up. You know, like, hey, let's go in the closet. We'll play spin the bottle or what? You know, nothing like that. Here's what should have happened. Cody says, you know, hanging with the boys, and then in comes Flavor Flav out of nowhere. Right?
Yep. With Flavor Flav's tagline. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
So with the boys.
Right. So Cody says, yeah, hanging with the boys, and then bang comes Flavor Flav. He just walks in. That's it.
And then Flavor Flav drags Misha into the closet and makes out with her because it is the flavor of love. Come on.
Right. So there you go. Yep.
So there you go. But Ted, out of 5 stars, you're giving a 4.5. I'm giving tonight's episode a 4. I do believe a little more could have happened, but there was a great little phase in to the whole foreshadowing of the Hater Hassan. I thought that was really clever foreshadowing.
It was good editing. Yeah. Pat gives it a 3 and gives it a 4. So that's what we have so far. Anybody else out there want to weigh in on what would you give it out of 5?
Out of 5 stars. And let us know on Twitter what you thought tonight's episode. Out of 5 stars, Ted gives it 4. I give it a 4. Ted gives it a 4.5. So if you were a new viewer tonight, Ted, are you tuning in next week?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think tonight was a great episode, and we want to know what you guys think. All right, Ted, I think it's time to get in a little bit of MMA news. Also, UFC 211. Not only that, but we have a lot of MMA news that happened this week that me and Ted didn't talk about. So make sure you guys check that out at Pure Evil MMA on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Facebook as well, Instagram, all at Pure Evil MMA, podcast, Podbean, iTunes, all at Pure Evil MMA. And Evil Intoxicated goes down every Wednesday night. And let us know what you thought of tonight's episode of The Ultimate Fighter. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, frontproofmedia.com and MMA UK. We're out, guys.